This is preparation for exercise 19.3. So previously I said that all these mean the exact same thing. So in English, f of x is equal to 2x plus 4 f dot dot x. So x is mapped onto the little arrow there, 2x plus 4, and y equals 2x plus 4. All these can be read in English as the output. What's happening to the input is being multiplied by 2 and you add 4. So as an example here, the first few questions, the exercise is a bit like this here. So again, we have output is equal to x plus 5. So in other words, I'll just take an example, f to form that function in f of 3. So all you do is you take out the x and replace it with 3 on this side and do the exact same thing over here. So you end up with 3 plus 5 equals 8. Because all that's happening in this function is you're adding on 5. Now, maybe some of the more confusing parts are, let's say, for example, g of minus 3. Now, again, make the point here, most of the time they're called f of x. They could be called g of x, h of x. It all means the same thing. On this second function here, what happens to your input? You square it and you subtract 1. So, for example, g of 3 will be 3 squared minus 1. That's 9 minus 1, which is 8, which would be the same actually as g of minus 3. So g of minus 3 here, again, you take out the x and replace it with minus 3. You do the exact same thing over here. So you end up with 9 minus 1 is 8. Now again, this fancy stuff here, f of 2k, it means the same thing. You just take out the x and replace it with 2k. If you do that on one side, you do the same thing over here. So you end up with 2k plus 5. And then g of 3k, so that's this down here. So g of 3k, we take out the x and replace it with 3k. So 3 times 3 is 9, so you get 9k squared minus 1. In the exercise here, as an example, f of 2. So the output is 2 multiplied by x minus 3. So f of 2 is going to be, take out the x, replace it with 2. So do the same thing over here, and you end up with 2 times 2 is 4, minus 3 is 1. That's the answer to that one. Now for question 6, it's kind of a different take on it. What happens when you're given the actual output value? For example, f of x equals 4. Or as a second example here, g of x is equal to minus 10. So here it says g of x equals minus 10. That means the output is equal to minus 10. So what you do is write down the function. G of x is equal to 2 minus 4x. But you're told g of x equals minus 10. So what we do is we let these two equal each other and we solve the resulting equation, which is this equation here. So how do we solve these again? It's a linear equation, so you get all your numbers on one side, all your variables or letters on the other side, and you work it out. So x equals 3. The last one might be a little bit confusing. G of x equals f of 4. The first thing you do is work out what f of 4 is. You can work that out, it equals 10. And then we let the g of x equal 10, which means we let 2 minus 4x equals 10 and solve the equation. Now, there might be some questions in the textbook that are a bit tricky down near the end, but using the information I've just given, I want you to go and try this exercise over the Easter. Maybe something like every second question, and let me know if you have any problem getting through it.